A smart husband knows his wife is smarter. My wife is way smarter than I, and one time she summed up my job. She was talking about priests and ministers and preachers, and she referred to us as professional Godsters. My wife thinks I'm a professional Godster. I guess that means I'm always talking about God. Well, I think that preachers should give up trying to explain God. Instead, we should try to help people experience God. There's a big difference between explaining God and experiencing God. The doctrine of the Trinity is a good example. Today's Trinity Sunday. It's the only Sunday in the church here that's devoted to a doctrine instead of a story. And when I was a kid, they tried to teach me the whole idea of the Trinity at church. And it just made my head hurt. One God, three persons. The Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God. But the Father is not the Son, and the Son is not the Holy Spirit, and there are not three gods, but one God. And it's a problem to explain God. You see, symbols and metaphors will only take us so far. If God is the source of all things, the Creator, the power behind the universe, then God is by definition beyond our minds and bigger than our words. And the Trinity works better if you think of it not as an explanation of God, but as an experience of God. First century Jews had an awareness of God as the Creator from the stories of the Hebrew Bible. And then when Jesus came along, his followers found something more than human in him. In the presence of Jesus, they experienced the presence of God in a human life. And then later, they experienced the presence of God in their own lives, and they called this experience the Spirit. So the idea of the Trinity evolved as an experience of one God, the Creator, and then manifested in Jesus of Nazareth, and then again in the breath-like presence of the Spirit. Not really an explanation, an experience. Alan Jones was the Dean of Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, and in one of his books, he writes that Christianity has three unique images of the divine: the pregnant woman, the broken man, and God as a community of persons. He was talking about the image of the Virgin Mary carrying the Christ child in her very own womb. And he was talking about Jesus broken on the cross, the central image of our faith. And he was talking about the experience of God as Trinity: the pregnant woman, the broken man, and God as a community of persons. I think he's right. I think those three images of the divine are unique to Christianity among the world religions, and those three images have tremendous experiential power. Now on Trinity Sunday, I don't want to try to explain the Trinity. I want to point to the experience of God as community. And if God is a community of persons, and if we are created in God's image, then we have been created for community. Now maybe a story is what I really need to tell. Rabbi Harold Kushner, the guy that wrote When Bad Things Happen to Good People, Rabbi Kushner tells this story. He talked about being on a beach one beautiful summer day, and he was watching two little kids, a boy and a girl, playing in the sand. They were hard at work building an elaborate sandcastle by the water's edge. They made gates and moats and towers. And just when they had almost finished their project, a big wave rolled in and knocked the whole thing down. All that was left was a big pile of wet sand. Now, Rabbi Kushner expected those two children to burst into tears, upset at what happened to all their hard work. But they surprised him. Instead, they ran up the shore, away from the water, laughing and holding hands. And Rabbi Kushner took away an important lesson from this. All the things in our life, all the complicated structures we spend so much time and so much energy creating, are built on sand. Only our relationships with God and with other people endure. Sooner or later, the wave will come along and knock down what we've worked so hard to build up. And when that happens, and it will, only the person who has someone's hand to hold will be able to laugh. The Christian idea of God as Trinity is the idea of God as a community of persons. And that means that community and love are at the center of the universe. And it means that when life knocks down our plans, only the person who has someone's hand to hold will be able to laugh. Amen. We turn to page 358 in the prayer book and stand together.